All right, we have TSL Clyde here versus MentalBreak. This is game number 2. It is going to be on Crevasse. Big map. Lots of action potentially going to go down here between these two top-notch players. We already had a crazy Terran versus Zerg with Clide actually coming out on top. So it is 1-0 currently, and anything can happen.
Yep, and if you guys are watching this live, or you guys are watching this in VOD form, please do support us. We really do appreciate it. Check out IGN.com/IPL. You can actually purchase tickets for IPL AC by clicking on IPL 3 and then on tickets. We have many different packages and levels available depending on how involved you want to get. We even have guaranteed front row seating and things like that for some of our packages. So there you go.
And if you guys buy the premium package, then you guys get to come up to me and, you know, spend a day with me. We should have like a Uber premium package or something like that.
Grandmaster's package.
You make, you know, one of the casters your slave for an hour. You want. Buy a slave caster. Anyways,
Shave Cat's beard for $1,000. No, I'm joking.
That package does not exist. You know what you should have done, man? Before you shaved off your beard, you should have started like a little charity fund.
So many people said that I should have auctioned it, but
you should have done a charity fund. Like you should have raised money to shave off your beard and then gave it to like some poor kids.
You're making me feel bad now. So.
Well, you still have the beard, right? You still have the hair.
Well,
you can like sell the hair to someone.
No, I don't have. Unfortunately, no, I did not like collect the hair in the baggie. It was in the trash can, and now it is gone. No. So yeah,
you gotta like frame that or something.
I can grow facial hair very quickly. It'll come back soon.
That's kind of true. I believe you on that.
All right,
well, we do have a Terran versus Zerg here, as mentioned before. MentalBreak opening up with the 15 hatch again on Crevasse. Actually, a pretty good expansion style. However, he didn't scout the Terran before he expanded, and now this is a bit of a problem because he basically expanded right outside the front lawn of the Terran player. And that's bad, and I almost kind of wish in this situation MentalBreak had expanded into his safer but less gas inside natural.
Yep. Yeah. And you know, I wonder about this as well, but if he's able to hold this off, of course, he gets the full 8 mineral patches instead of the 6. I believe that's up here, 6 or 5. It is 6 indeed. Right. And just a single Vespene Geyser, even though it is a rich one, he does get the double. So,
but he's still going to have that problem when that inevitable tank push
runs up through this destructible rocks.
Yeah, if it goes through that destructible rocks, it's literally right outside the front lawn of Clide, and that could be a problem. That could be a big problem.
MentalBreak needs to put on his old man hat, shake the stick at the youngins, and yell, "Get off my lawn!
Get off my lawn, youngins!"
As it was pretty funny. We actually had a professor in college, Dr. Schramm. Big shout out to you, Dr. Schramm. He was the head of our radio station as well.
I'm sure he's watching this,
and I hope he is. Yeah, but he always used to send all of his emails with "Get off my lawn" at the very end of it. So it's pretty awesome because he needed people to do lawn cleanup for him. So he's like, "Okay, guys, I need you to come over to my lawn, clean it up, and then promptly get off of it." So he was a great guy. I loved him.
Indeed. Well, I don't really have any stories about my teachers. I never really got along with my teachers back in school, man. I was kind of the unruly kid that actually just sat in the lunchroom playing Magic. I was kind of a nerd.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but I never did, I didn't do enough homework, let's just say that. So I kind of got in trouble a couple times. But all that aside.
Yeah, we have Clide. Actually, he decided to do the 1 racks, no gas FE once again. He's going into safe. Double gas after that. And this is kind of cool, too. He's actually going after the Rich Vespene Geyser right away. He needs to hold on to his SCVs for just a second. Yes, it is. He'll pull 6 each time, you'll see.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, yep, and that is a Rich Vespene Geyser. So that's a pretty good option, actually, if you're going to go for 2 of those. It looks like he's moving forward with a few Marines through the middle of the map. Those map control Zerglings are going to be forced away. And now we see MentalBreak. His position is a little exposed, like you said before. See what he does to go ahead and hold on to it.
Yeah, MentalBreak here is in a really weird situation here. He can't really erect spine crawlers to defend this hatchery because then the Marines will just kind of walk around the side or go right into the main. So Clide here is in a great position. He's going to be able to do a lot of damage. MentalBreak needs to get Lings out immediately, and this is a situation where you do have to react. You can't just drone up behind this. He's going to end up losing a lot of drones, though. All the Zerglings come out, and it looks like the Marines will be pushed away. He only lost a couple of drones.
I was about to say, I agree with you. I thought he was going to lose more drones than he did, but MentalBreak actually had extremely good micro right there. He pulled those drones long enough, absorbed like 2 or 3 hits on those, long enough for the Zerglings to gain that critical advantage where he wasn't going to lose all the Zerglings to the Marines, and then attacked. That was actually extremely smart.
The
That
best
was really
thing he
well
could have
played.
done. He pulled that. He pulled out a magical situation, a miracle out of nowhere. Basically,
Yeah, I agree.
So
that was beautiful.
he could have lost a lot more drones. It could have been devastating. But as it stands, he gets map control back now, and this is a little bit of breathing room that's quite necessary for Mental Break. He is going to run up a circling into that bunker. Should confirm right now that there's only a single Marine inside that bunker. So if Mental Break wants to go with that kind of Baneling action, it is possible that he will Baneling bust.
Yeah, we actually have the same.
But no, there's a Spire coming up.
Yeah, and we have actually the exact same build coming out of Clide right now. Decides to put down his barracks with a tech lab. He's going to lift this off. Looks like he's putting up a Viking first because his timing was a little bit farther off. But he's going to do the same thing, swap this over, go into Banshee production or something along those lines, and already has pretty good saturation on his secondary base. So I've got to say, pretty good game played out of him so far, but Mental Break also playing pretty well with the defense, going up to very early Spire. The sub 8-minute Spire, he's going to have Mutalisks out very quickly.
He actually overproduced in Overlords here. That could have been an extra Mutalisk. But yeah, he's got 78 supply over 50 now, so he's got a 28 gap here to make Mutalisks, but he doesn't have nearly enough minerals to produce that many Mutalisks.
Clyde.
Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry.
No worries.
Never mind, he's actually doing great. What am I talking about? Well, he's going to make 6 Mutalisks anyway, so he's going to get a little bit of air supremacy here, but he wants to make sure he can get in there and do some damage. And the nice thing here is because the Terran expanded in the inside expansion, that is very vulnerable to Mutalisk harass. And look, there's not a single turret up, and the Overlord will come in and confirm that it's going to relay back to base. No turrets, come in with the Mutalisks.
Switching from the Overlord tongue to the English tongue so well. That is a very informed Overlord. I like it.
He's intelligent.
Second Overlord is going to go down. Like I was speculating with Joshy before, I actually think that the Overlords are extremely intelligent. They're just too slow to pull anything off. And here we go. Mental Break does break through the Viking, and he's going to make his way into the mineral line. And a few SCVs are going to go down.
Yeah, not a single turret up here for Clide, and
no.
Clide doesn't even have an
No
NG
engineering
bay up.
bay.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's horrible. No, he's going to lose
Okay,
so
no,
many
he does have
Mutalisks
one.
here.
I'm sorry, he does have one.
There is a missile turret going up in the
Yes.
background. However, a lot of SCVs are going to go down here. Let's pull up that workers kill tab. Look at the SCVs. They're trying to get out of their Congo line style, but actually that makes them more vulnerable to Mutalisks, which of course have that kind of reflecting firepower. And here comes those Mutalisks. They could delay the turret. No, they will not. And the turret gets up inside the natural. All those SCVs going powwow status around the turret to make sure it stays alive. And Mental Break does a great job going in there and killing off several SCVs. So he's producing 7 more Mutalisks in the back, and I have to say Mental Break taking a huge advantage in this game.
Yep, and unfortunately, poor Mule goes down as well, and yet more SCVs are getting killed by the splash damage. Viking finally does make its way in, but Mental Break is continuing to increase the flock of mutas that he has going. Looks like there are already 11 on the field and 3 more about ready to pop out, and 14 mutas at this stage in the game when we have virtually nothing besides
Marines.
the static defense. Yeah, to go against this, that's really, really big for him.
I mean, I'm looking at the barracks right now. He only has a tech lab on that barracks, I believe. Yeah, he has not a single reactor core on a barracks, so he's producing Marines one at a time right here. It's the slowest possible production you could get. Here comes 2 more barracks, so he's finally going to get some more Marines out, but it may be a little too late. There are 14 plus Mutalisks on the map right now. They're going to absolutely eradicate that refinery, and they're going to go after the missile turret as well. This is a big gamble. Can he get the turret down? I don't think so, and he's losing a lot of Mutalisks as a result. However, he's killing several SCVs that are repairing, so it is a bit of a trade-off for both players.
Yeah, absolutely, and it looks like he's not going to be able to burst through it. But
he
like you said, he killed
many mutas, though.
Let's see actually how many SCVs are killed so far. He has killed 32 SCVs. I agree with you. Mutas at 100 apiece. That is a significant investment. It's very hard to justify that sort of expense. Yeah. But he did really cripple Clyde's economy. Clyde down to just 27 SCVs. He does have a 3rd orbital command up, so he will be able to triple produce his. Will be able to triple produce all of his units. But let's go ahead and take a look here. I'm not sure what you're pointing at. I apologize.
There's a little red dot.
Aha! Yeah, there it is. A cloaked Banshee. There we go. HD was furiously jabbing at the screen. I didn't know what he was pointing to. That's okay. Banshee does manage to get a kill or 2. Not sure where it scooted off to, but there is an overseer around, so it is going to be able to clean that off.
Yeah, I just want to go back a little bit to when those Mutalisks were attacking that missile turret. That was a pretty committed attack, and Mental Break had to know, okay, I'm trading off Mutalisks for SCVs here. that can be a benefit in the short run. However, in the long run, it's actually not that good because MentalBreak loses map control. He doesn't have nearly as many Mutalisks as he did before. Look, that Muta number could have been 2 times as powerful.
Yes, certainly.
And that could have carried him very far into the mid and late game. But as it stands now, he's kind of given Clide a chance to re-macro and get back into this game. He's allowed Clide to get multiple barracks up, and now there's enough Marines to the point where those Mutalisks are not at the critical number they need to be to kill off those Marines and end the game.
Yeah, but Clide has been investing in infrastructure and relatively expensive harass units and not just a straight line engagement army. And during this entire time, MentalBreak has been putting his Zergling Baneling force into action. He's got all the infrastructure down for that as well. So with his superior worker count, with the production that he has, that's going to be off of 3 bases and probably a macro hatch here sometime soon or so, I would assume.
Yeah.
And double upgrades at the same time, he's actually still in a pretty decent spot.
Oh, he's in a great spot. MentalBreak is still definitely far ahead. Don't get me wrong. I just wanted to say that, hope's not out for Clide. Clide is climbing back in, certainly. I think that the last attack against that turret was actually a bad decision by MentalBreak. However, as it stands, he is still far ahead. He still has a considerable amount of Mutalisks, but there are turrets and Vikings now to deal with that, and he may actually make a flyby here into the main, but those Marines are running as fast as they can to greet those Mutalisks, and they will be able to deflect the Mutas for now. Is there enough to do damage here? I don't think so. MentalBreak has to fall back. And the nice thing, though, is he will be able to get that 4th expansion up. So he is playing that macro game on Crevasse, which, it's a great situation for a Zerg player.
He's forcing stims out of those Marines at the very least, not taking any losses, and forcing those medevacs to keep their energy pretty low. Looks like Clide actually going to go after the destructible debris, wants to keep up a little bit better path to his 3rd expansion, or his 3rd base in total. Sorry. But, yeah, like you were kind of hinting at right there, that's going to give MentalBreak quite a bit of mobility, and it's going to allow Lings and Banelings to stream in all the easier.
Killing off the rock says to me that Clide does not plan to make a push out with these forces. He actually is going to hunker down on this 3rd base, play a very macro game, play conservatively, and hope to win the game in the long run. He's going to try to max out his army and then push out, and that's why he killed off those rocks, because he's going to basically, like you said, make a path for his Marines to run back and forth between the main and the natural and the 3rd to defend against Mutalisks. So that's his idea right here. He is going to try to hunker down. There are 2 turrets already up in place. The Marines are not stimming, and the turrets will be taken out. So MentalBreak has allowed a bit of an opening at the gas here for his Mutalisks to come in and kill off additional SCVs.
And it looks like Clide was not happy with that, so he's going to produce 3 turrets at the same time.
An extra one.
Yeah. It was queued up there for a while. Yeah, but I've got to say, MentalBreak is running wild with the macro game at the moment. He's got another hatchery coming down. That's his 5th base. He's got his 4th just finished. He'll be transferring some drones there eventually. And he's got a macro hatch over at his 3rd. So, even though the supplies are starting to equalize a little bit, Clide is finding himself back into the game in the 3-base tier and is going to be very powerful. It looks like MentalBreak is going to be able to maintain an advantage in resupply. And it looks like all the missile turrets do go down this time. SCVs are being destroyed, and those Mutalisks happy with their gains. Oh, wow, actually are going to pick off.
Oh, wow, that was so close. If those dropships had gone down, that would have been a huge loss for the Terran player. Would have lost so much mobility and longevity with his Marines. However, he saved those dropships with just barely a scratch of HP, just a little scabble, if you will, of life on those dropships, and it looks like those Mutalisks were not able to do enough damage to justify flying in there. I don't think they killed off enough SCVs, nor did they kill off the dropships, so basically they ran in there and took a lot of damage for only a handful of SCVs, and now the dropship is moving out. It is going to be able to deny this hatchery here. The Mutalisks are nowhere to be seen, still apparently flying out in the middle of the map, and the hatchery is going to go down after it was born. I think Clide is getting back in this game, man.
Clide is getting back into this game. Oh, it looks like we may force one here in the middle of the map. I'm not sure why MentalBreak is running through, because he's not going to be able to kill all these units. He gets a little bit of splash damage from those siege tanks, but that's about all. Fortunately, he does lose the base over here at the 2 o'clock position, but I've got to say, even if we have a situation where Clide is able to crush his opponent's army, because of the amount of bases that he is on right now, he's going to be able to crush through the remainder. He's going to be able to reproduce so fast, it's going to be pretty scary, actually.
Yeah, and we had a fungal go off on those Marines, and here comes the Banelings, devastating the Marine line.
Wow.
The 10 tanks all go down as well, and MentalBreak
was
breaks
so good.
his way through. He's gonna bust in with his Banelings, and
that's
wow,
it.
Clide just GG's. He leaves the game.
Wow.
Clide had a moment there of possibly getting back in this game, but I really think he overextended himself. I just wanted to say that he was definitely overextending himself. After the drop and after deflecting those Mutalisks, he probably should have just grabbed a 4th base and tried to do a little bit of drop harass action in the background, but I think he overextended himself, and that's what cost him.
It was a rough position for Clyde to be in one way or another, though, because he had lost so many SCVs initially, that he was still going to lose that reinforcement game. MentalBreak was starting to slice the map in half. He was already taking 4th and 5th expansions with macro hatches and things like that. Already had 2,400 minerals banked. So if he had fought a big engagement, he was going to be able to just use up larvae and produce 80, 90 lings at the same time.
Actually, that's what he was doing. In the production tab in the last couple of minutes, he was making about 90 lings, or not 90, but like 60 lings, and it was enough to end the game there. But anyways, there we have it. So Clide loses,
and it is 1-1 at the moment.
Yeah, it's 1-1.
Yep. So okay, guys, we're gonna head into game number 3 in just a bit. Where